Over time, divisions begin to evidence themselves within the universal church. Most of them were cultural. The church, though it began in one place, once the apostles went out to spread the gospel, the church began to grow in different places. Main differences occurred between the church that sprang up in the east and the church that sprang up in the west. And we see that nowadays, in particular in the differences in liturgy between east and west. Although there are many different Catholic churches, Romans, Polish, Dutch, Old Catholics, Eastern Orthodox, Coptics, Chaldeans, there are all sorts of different Catholic churches. All of us belong to the one true Holy Apostolic Church. In those days, the divisions between them, as I may have alluded to, were more cultural. So if a Coptic came to Rome, he was every bit as Catholic as a Roman, but the Coptic may have come from a different style of liturgy, a different, expression of the faith. It's important to understand that in the early days of the church, she was governed not by one patriarch, but by council. In other words, the Pope of Rome or the ecumenical patriarch of the East, there was not, they didn't have, they weren't in charge of the whole thing. Rather, bishops worldwide were of equal standing. They derived their power from the apostles. And from time to time, they had to get together to decide things, sort out their differences. And the way they did that was in a council. They discussed things. There was not one monarch that laid down the law and expected everyone else to fall in line. In Rome, being the seat of imperial power, the power of the Roman papacy grew over time. And in fact, today it is the way Romans have it over everything. Their Roman Pope enjoys what we call universal jurisdiction. In other words, all of the bishops of the church, though they might be equal in dignity, they are not equal in power. When the Pope exerts his authority, they must be subject to it. But for the longest time, the church was not governed that way. It wasn't governed by monarchs and popes. Each local church was centered around its bishop.